Now we're going to have a look at the second homeostatic process that takes place in the blood, and that is going to be the blood glucose levels. And with the blood glucose levels, there are several things that you need to understand here. Right, so this is happening in the blood. You have glucose, and how do you get the glucose? You get your glucose from your meals, and remember, always when you are eating, your food contains normally like your glucose, and that glucose is found in the carbohydrates. So all carbohydrates, they have glucose, and that glucose is going to be broken down. Oh, sorry, the carbohydrate will be broken down into glucose, and that glucose now will increase. The concentration of the glucose will increase in your blood, and this increase, it is therefore detected by specialized cells in the pancreas called the isolates of Langerhans. So isolates of Langerhans are found in the pancreas, and what will they do? They will now secrete what is known as an insulin hormone. Now this hormone, it is important for decreasing the levels of sugar in your blood. So insulin, what it would do is it's actually this is your hormone, and this hormone what it does two things. The first thing that it does, it is going to convert excess glucose into glycogen. Glycogen, it is another form of what? Of stored glucose. So we call glycogen a polysaccharide. This is a polysaccharide. So a polysaccharide is just a long chain of glucose molecules that are stored in the liver and muscles. And also this insulin is going to promote glucose uptake by the cells. So cells, they do need this glucose for cellular respiration, and we know that cellular respiration happens in the presence of glucose in the mitochondrion of the cells. So now all of this will cause the increase of the blood glucose level to decrease back to normal. So we are going to have a decrease in glucose levels, and your glucose levels in the blood will return to normal. And as it is very important to maintain this narrow limits so that your body can function well, because too much glucose in your blood can lead to diseases such as diabetes. So it is important to reduce your sugar intake as well as your sugar levels in the blood so that they are always at a normal range. Now, we're going to look at what happens when your sugar levels decrease in the blood. There are numerous things that can lead to the sugar levels decreasing. It is by having too much insulin. If you haven't eaten, not eating, if you haven't eaten for a long time during the day, therefore your blood sugar levels will drop. And also when you're doing an exercise, right? So when you are exercising now, when you're doing an exercise, you are using up almost all the glucose in your blood because you are producing energy for cellular respiration. So that will cause your glucose levels to drop. So glucose levels, when they drop in your blood, of course you're gonna need more of this glucose so that you continue to produce energy during cellular respiration. So this decrease is also detected by isolates of Langerhans in the pancreas, and these isolates of Langerhans in the pancreas are going to secrete glucagon. So glucagon is also a hormone. This is the second hormone. So there are two hormones that are being secreted by isolates of Langerhans. This is also a hormone, and it will be secreted same as insulin being secreted here. And now this pancreas having these isolates of Langerhans, they will do what? They will secrete glucagon, and glucagon, what it does is it promotes the conversion of glycogen into glucose. So this one takes you back to grade 10, because in grade 10 you learned that you have what is known as polysaccharides, which are long chains of glucose. So you're going to have something like this. This is what we call your glycogen, right? So glycogen is going to be broken down by the hormone glucagon. So don't confuse them. So glucagon is going to break these into small chains, monosaccharides. This one is a polysaccharide, so glucagon will promote the conversion of glycogen into what? Into monosaccharides, which is known as glucose. So therefore your glucose levels will increase in the blood, and they will increase back to normal, and now you'll have some sugar or some glucose to use for cellular respiration. And the reverse of this, where glucose is returned or converted into glycogen, it is done by the insulin hormone. So you must be able to differentiate between the two hormones and their roles, which is very important for this section of homeostatic process, especially on the blood sugar levels.